I'm still trying to figure this out, and I think I'm making progress. Reality keeps telling me that I better hurry it up. Why did people vote for Donald Trump, even when he promised to do things that would harm them? It's easy to dismiss such people as ignorant or stupid. It's also both factually inaccurate and counterproductive. First, nobody wakes up on election day and decides to do something harmful to themselves. We all act in what we perceive to be our best interests and feel we have good, sensible reasons to back that up. Second, if you want to encourage someone to see things in a different way, starting with "you're stupid," probably won't be useful, so a different approach is called for. In very short order, that's going to become critically important. Stay with me to see why. Sarah Kliff wrote a most interesting article in Vox entitled "Why Obamacare Enrollees Voted for Trump." The subhead is, "In Whitley County, Kentucky, the uninsured rate declined 60% under Obamacare." So why did 82% of voters there support Donald Trump? Good question. The short answer comes from a woman living in the area who signed up thousands of people for Obamacare and then voted for Trump. Interviewed by Kliff, she said, quote, "I found with Trump he says a lot of stuff. I just think all politicians promise you everything and then we'll see. It's like when you get married. Oh, honey, I won't do this. Oh, honey, I won't do that." Kliff later reports, quote, "I kept hearing informed voters who had watched the election closely say they did hear the promise of repeal of Obamacare, but simply felt Trump couldn't repeal a law that had done so much good for them. In fact, some of the people I talked to hoped that one of the more divisive pieces of the law, Medicaid expansion, might become even more robust, offering more of the working poor a chance at the same coverage the very poor receive." In other words, they heard Trump's message that he would repeal Obamacare and simply didn't believe it. Here's another example. Watch the Bernie Sanders and Trump country discussion that was aired on Chris Hayes' program on MSNBC on December 12th. And pay special attention to the panel members. They consistently expressed the same views as Kliff's interviewees in Kentucky. They just figured that Trump was saying what he needed to say to get elected, and once elected would do whatever these people viewed as the right thing, even when the right thing was in conflict with what Trump said he would do. Before you slip into smug mode, wondering what kind of fools these people might be, consider what you expected from Barack Obama in 2008. There's a good chance that you imagined that he would consistently do the right thing, and later it's possible you were disappointed in him for failing your right thing test. There's a psychological term for hearing what we want to hear and dismissing as insignificant what we don't want to hear. It's called confirmation bias, and we are all subject to our own version of self-delusion powered by that bias. Here's the bottom line to this. Be slow to ridicule Trump voters as stupid or ignorant or racist. Yes, clearly some of the really loud ones are that. All that most of them were doing in this past election was being human. And they will respond to you a lot better when they realize that you respect them. In fact, that may be the key both to understanding what happened in this election and, more important, the key to a better future for you and our democracy. Millions of voters have buyer's remorse right now because they really voted against establishment Hillary, not for Trump. And they got Trump, and now they are horrified. It's time to respectfully invite them to join you and others to do something to stop the extremist agenda of the oligarchs and generals who are about to take the reins of power. Not convinced that's happening? Click on the links in the written blog and click through the links on those pages to learn what this open season of American hatred looks like. And as you do that, recognize that this brutality is sanctioned from the top. Protections you take for granted are on the edge of being eliminated by presidential cabinet appointments. People who are dedicated to eliminating the agencies they will lead, the ones that now provide those protections you take for granted. There is extreme danger on the very near horizon, and we better make our voices heard, and we better reach the millions of Americans who voted for Trump and are now horrified, so that they make their voices heard along with ours. On a live stream on the 19th, there was a critical clarity that was offered. Listen to this now. Love doesn't trump hate. Organizing trumps hate. As I have written repeatedly, if things are to change for the better, we'll actually have to do something. So now that you see the looming danger and understand Trump voters a little bit better, get up, get involved, and get organized while we still can. I'm Jack Altshuler.